Started the camera.
Okay, started the camera. So today we've got Michan Nolan here, and we are going to try to chat about a little thing that most of you probably heard about that's going around that's pretty big. You guys are growing. LJW, Lexi J Wellness Fitness. I totally intended to have a conversation to make sure there wasn't anything off limits to ask about.
Well, I guess it's an open book now.
I love talking about fitness. Fitness pizza in my mouth.
Yeah, that's so good.
Thanks. I was up so late last night thinking about that one.
Were you up pretty late? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess I had heard about Lexi J a little bit. How long have you? I know how long you've been there. How long has she been doing the program?
Oh my gosh, it is the 4-year anniversary this year of Lexi J Wellness. So she started during COVID when gyms shut down. She bought dumbbells off Facebook Marketplace and started doing workouts in her basement, and then just put them out there if anybody else wanted to do them, and got a lot of traction with them. So.
Caught fire.
Caught fire.
A lot of people were working out during COVID because what else could you do? I did. I'll be honest with you. Every morning, whenever they quit letting us go out to the construction site, I would take a pretty long walk every morning and listen to a Joe Rogan podcast, and that kind of kickstarted me into getting back into working out. But I remember, I felt like everybody was doing it. You could walk around town or anywhere and pretty much find somebody out walking then.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny how quickly it dried up, though,
Yeah.
once everything went back to normal.
Nobody stayed working out very long.
Well, yeah. So, unhealthy, healthy, back to unhealthy.
Yeah, well, people don't feel it like a lifestyle change. And I've seen you walking around up here, and I kind of want to know, what made you get started with Lexi J compared to anything else?
Okay, so actually, most people probably know me that are watching
Talk a
this.
little bit closer to the mic.
Well, yeah, okay, and I do want to point out, you're obviously everybody's favorite Nolan.
Obviously.
Soon to be Riggins, we're hoping.
Oh, maybe one day. Yeah, we'll get there. I need to plan it.
Get the plan up. I'm
Yeah.
ready to go on a trip. Not this year, next year, though.
Next year?
Yeah.
Okay, you can plan it, and then we can go.
Oh, all right.
Perfect. All right, so I started Lexi J Wellness. Actually, a lot of you know me, so my brother had passed away, actually, and I was just not in a good place mentally. And so my sister was like, hey, just try this, move your body. You need to move your body. And I did, and I started it, and the first year, I didn't miss a workout, and it really, the physical aspects of things are super awesome, but the mental change that I saw was huge. It was night and day difference. I was in a bad place, and now I'm in a lot better place and can cope better.
For me, I whenever I'm running, I feel like I can deal with a lot of stuff internally, and then work it all out. It helps me get through my workout. Same type of thing.
Yeah,
you feel like? Yeah,
for sure. Movement is truly medicine, and just moving your body for 28 minutes or even going on a walk helps so much mentally.
Yeah. I agree. I used to even practice things I was going to say, in between sets or in between songs in our sets and stuff. It helped me get better at that for a while, and then until we quit playing, and then I got pretty rusty again. But I also, one thing that I noticed that working out fairly consistently, and I don't get in there. I know this is going to be your pet peeve because this is what you tell everybody. I don't get it done every single day.
It's fine.
Sometimes it's 2 times a week, sometimes it's 3 times a week. This week it's been none because of Simon's issue. So I hate that. I want to be in there 4 times a week. That's the goal, but
it's making it a lifestyle. So you have kids, so it's not going to be perfect every week. He's sick this week. You're going to be with him most of the week, and that's okay. You just have to make it a lifestyle.
Yeah, I know. I try really. I shouldn't say I try really hard, because if I tried harder, I probably could find time to get it done every single day. But I'm really bad about my specific routine. Yeah. And if I miss that by 15 minutes, it's oh, my whole day's screwed. I'm not gonna be able to do it how I want to do it. You know what I mean? It's really bad. I have a certain time frame that I want to hit, and like I said, if I miss it, it's just am I still gonna go do it? Am I gonna try to fit it in? Am I gonna whatever? Can I find time here? Can I find time there? Just balancing my schedule. But there are times that I could get out and do it. So what would be your advice for somebody that's starting to kind of really get that into their lifestyle? What are the best tricks for that?
Setting a routine and sticking to it, like scheduling it in your day. Like I have a planner and I schedule my workouts in. My kids normally on Tuesdays they have soccer and they have dance. I'm not going to get a workout in the evening. I have to get up in the morning and get it done. But when I get up in the morning and I get it done in the morning, I feel so much better starting my day out. It really starts that domino into effect of having a good day.
A good day, yeah. I know that, so I almost always work out a little bit later and basically be what is the equivalent of my lunch break, but I often take it early because I get meetings truthfully up to noon and then right after noon. So I'll take my lunch break at 9:30 and go work out. And that's kind of that time frame that I like to work out in. And the one thing it does for me is, one, the cardio portion, I was having a ton of trouble with my gut for years, just feeling bloated. I was trying a bunch of different things. I tried probiotics, prebiotics. They would kind of help, sort of. Sometimes they would actually make my stomach hurt. I wouldn't feel bloated, but I would start to get more crampy for a while. So then I would quit and that would go away, but then it wouldn't take a day or two for me to start feeling kind of yucky again. But running, and it's funny, so running will definitely make my gut feel better. It immediately makes me feel I don't know how to explain the feeling, really, just clear to some degree. And then it has gotten though to where, initially when I started, I would have to do it 2 or 3 days to really feel really good by the end of the week. I'm getting down to where I can do that once a week and feel pretty okay for about a week.
Yeah, I honestly don't do a ton of cardio, so.
No, I know some people don't. I know it's, in fact, it kind of is getting a little bit of a bad stigma. I feel like I watch so many reels about how it's a waste of your time and all that stuff, but the reason I like it is it really tracks my calories that I'm burning.
Yeah, I mean cardio is good, but I mean you don't have to do a ton of it.
I don't do weights or anything, and I only run. And it's funny you brought up you would work on what you're going to say between songs. So I always go on a run on gravel because I sing while I run, because I don't want to be out of breath on stage in front of people. Because there's been times even last summer, I'd run from one side of the stage to the other and be like, oh god, I ain't cut down on beer or something.
Yeah.
Because it's embarrassing. So I always work on when it's hot out, I'll go for a run, but if it's cold, I'm not doing that. One of my biggest challenges is wanting to get up and do it. I don't have a set time I actually do it, because my whole life's just kind of get what I need to done and then move on.
Yeah.
But I always find that after I do it, it's 20 minutes to do 2 miles or something. It doesn't take that long to just do it.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why I have to talk myself into finding the time to do it when it takes hardly anything.
Yeah. You never regret a workout. I mean, Lexi says that all the time, and it's totally true. You spend more time talking yourself out of the workout than just doing it and getting it done.
So I guess your struggle going into this was a little bit different compared to other people's. Did you feel like you started out having a harder time wanting to do it?
Yeah, I think I had hit a low point that I was ready to make a change. So
yeah,
I mean, yeah, I was ready to make a change, and
gotcha. And it seems like Lexi J is a little bit more community focused, because I see all the time people are doing these meetups and things.
Oh yeah, so there's a private Facebook group. It's women's only, so you guys aren't invited.
What about the guys I see working out with you?
Well, there's tons of guys working out. I mean, you can be in the app with me in the first format, but
I want to get to that later.
Yeah, sure, I'll show you. But the group is a private group of women, and Jer, he kind of makes fun of me sometimes, but imagine that. But it's really hard for, I feel adult women to find friends, and this is something that we have common ground on, we have common goals on, and you just start clicking with people that have the same goals, have the same lifestyles as you. You know, there's moms, there's people that just got out of college, that were college athletes, that are navigating that. There's people that are empty nesters that are navigating that, and there's just somebody for everybody to relate to, which is really cool.
Yeah, that is really awesome. And I will just say, watching from kind of a distance, like Kiefer pointed out, you can see the community, the feel, there's a word I don't want to use that it gets popular, but really, I mean, it is centered around, like you said, common ground, and I feel like whenever I'm watching anything related to the program, that's the first thing I notice about it.
Good.
So I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I think that helps keep people motivated. I assume you feel the same way.
Yeah, it adds another layer of accountability too. Like, you have these people you can reach out to and say, hey, I'm struggling today. And they are like, hey, you've got goals to reach. You can do it. Take it one day at a time. They're 28-minute workouts. So take a 28-minute workout and do the dang thing, and you're going to feel better after. You're not going to regret that. So
Are people pretty honest on there, reaching out for accountability or help?
Yeah, there's quite a bit of girls. Like, we just had a live event in Nashville, and you were invited. You just didn't come. Yeah. Okay.
No retort.
But
Be nice.
you can be mean. But there's these girls in Nashville, and they didn't know each other. They're from different states. They're from all over. They rented an Airbnb, and they hung out together. And they hold each other accountable, whether they're together at an Airbnb or they're across the United States, which is really cool. I mean, they're awesome.
And I assume, like, so for people that don't know, or people that are thinking about maybe going this route, all the good things that they might be hearing, I would assume what you want to say about accountability is doing your best. You're not holding people to some standard that is somebody else's, right?
Correct. Everybody has a different starting line. You can't compare, like, my starting line to your starting line. We're at different points in our lives. And like I said, there's people that were college athletes that are doing this, and there's people that are empty nesters that are just getting back into working out for the first time. So everybody's starting point is different, but if you show up your best for that day and you get 1% better that day, 1% better each day adds up to a lot by the end of the year.
I gotcha. And is it sort of like, I know there's a regimen. I guess that you kind of want to talk about. Well, let me back up before we slide into that. So you started as a client during COVID, and then I remember whenever we went out to Vegas, whenever we were getting married, you had mentioned to us that you were considering taking a job with Lexi, and it was maybe a month or two after that you did officially, something like that.
So yeah.
Okay, so I guess let's start with that. What got you from client to working for Lexi?
So I was a client for a year, and I was just super consistent. I showed up, I hit my macros, which is the nutrition portion. I did the workouts. I mean, just showed up consistently for myself. And she actually reached out to me one day on Instagram, and she's like, hey, can I have your number? And I was like, oh my gosh, what did I do? Am I in trouble? And I was freaking out a little bit, and she texted me, and she's like, do you want to talk? Do you want to work for me? And I was like, I can't do that. I'm a nurse. I've never done the nutrition, like coach people on that. But then I talked to my mom and my sister, and they're like, you're a super coachable human. Like, you can learn things super quick, and you can change people's lives the way your life was changed. And so I'm like, might as well try. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? I go back into nursing. And so I tried it, and I've loved it ever since. It's been a little over a year since I've worked for her.
So was your nursing background any part of what attracted her to having you? I mean, it seems like you would have quite a bit of education, even though maybe nutrition isn't your primary thing, but you still would know a lot about the human body and how it works. And
yeah, so the nursing background did help, and I took nutrition classes obviously for nursing too, but I think it was just the consistency and showing up for myself and showing that I can do it myself. And when you do it yourself, you lead by example and you can help others. So
what is it that you do exactly with her?
So I'm a nutrition coach. So we have a first form app where we track our macros, which macros kind of like scare people, that term. It sounds scary, but really all it is your calories and your protein, carbs, and fats, which make up your overall calories. So calorie counting, but you're taking into account what is in your calories.
Yeah. So you're not trying to cut carbs completely?
Heck no. We eat our carbs around here. Carbs are good. Yeah.
good carbs are good.
Good carbs are good.
Especially when you're moving, right?
Yeah, especially when you're moving. Really, we just focus on protein and calories, and your carbs and fats can kind of be however. And I do like weekly feedback with assessments. I send them a video, personalized video, talking to them about their goals. So it's not like automated. It's not generic. It's a real person talking to you.
Is there like one commonality that most people like struggle with when it comes to nutrition?
When you first come into the app, a lot of people don't get enough protein in, and so that's why a lot of people don't have that tone look you want, because protein is the only macronutrient that can maintain your lean muscle tissue. So if you're not hitting that protein, you're not going to get that tone look, because you're not going to maintain that lean muscle mass, which we want.
And the best things, so maybe people don't know I don't, that's why I'm asking the question. And it probably seems obvious, but is it more meat? Is there more to it than just that, or?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that have protein. So like when I first came into the app, like the first day I went back and looked at the first day I tracked, and I thought I was doing awesome. I'm like, heck yeah, I'm eating healthy. I had 24 grams of protein, and for me and my goals, I need 150 grams of protein a day to maintain my lean muscle mass. So it was a big pivot for me, but like meats are good, eggs, cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, protein bars. There's obviously like protein supplements, protein shakes you can do, lots of different things. Fish is good.
Yeah.
Now, when you're counting calories, do you guys do it where it's like 3 meals a day, like 2 meals, small snacks, 1 meal? Are you fasting? Or is that kind of independent on the person?
It's really independent on the person. How I like to do it and teach people to do it, protein is very satiating. So you're going to feel a lot fuller when you're eating your protein, opposed to like those carby things that we like to eat. And so I like to do breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then have high protein snacks in between there, aiming for like 20 to 30 grams of protein at each.
Okay.
How vastly different was your eating habits? How much did it change? A lot? Or less than people would think? Or
honestly, they probably changed a lot because I was paying attention to what I was eating. Before, I didn't really pay attention. I didn't care. I didn't really have to. I mean, my metabolism was still good. Which I did lose a lot of weight when I first came into the app. It was time I needed to get in there. But
I'll just say it was real noticeable.
It was noticeable.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's thicker than a Snicker.
Well, actually, not so much that is for a while how skinny you were for a little bit.
I got pretty lean. I got pretty lean, but I noticed that I feel better at a little heavier weight, because when I first joined the app, I'm like, okay, I need to weigh this. And I got down to that because I am very stubborn and I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do.
Right.
And I got down to the weight I wanted to, but I was pretty lean, and my body composition now, I'd say I would like better than where I was a couple summers ago, just because I feel good. My energy's good, and I weigh 10 pounds more than what I thought
you would want to be. So I personally try not to look at weight a whole lot, once in a while, just to be interested. But what research I've done has basically said kind of what you said. Whatever you have in your head that should be the weight you think you're at probably isn't right for your body composition, your height, your weight, or well, not so much weight, but your height, and then I mean genetics play a lot into that.
Yeah.
So I occasionally will weigh myself, but for the most part, I try not to. Now, I will admit my biggest problem is, and I really try to pay attention as best I can to burning calories. So like, I only get that out of my cardio workouts to know for sure, because like I don't know how to track like when you're lifting weights what you're burning.
Well, I mean, a watch will give you a good idea, but I mean, they've been proven time and time again to be inaccurate. So they're a good tool, but I wouldn't like go off of that. I would go off of your effort, and if you feel like it was a good workout, it's a good workout.
Good workout.
I never think about like how I look or like my weight or whatever. For me, like it's just how much energy I have.
Yeah.
Because like you know how much I'm gone, how much I travel, and I'm up late. I'm up late. I'm up early.
You eat crap whenever you're doing that. Yeah.
And so it's just like if I have energy, I'm good. So it's not really about like how I look, because I know I slay a queen, but like, I notice like in the winter, it's harder for me to be as uppity as I am most of the time, because it's cold and I don't want a gym membership. I'm not outside doing stuff besides like shoveling snow.
I work out so much better in the winter than I do spring through summer.
What?
I go to a gym, and so like when you go to the gym in the winter, there's not a lot to do, like you were just talking about. So it's just, and I mean, frankly, most of the time in the middle of winter, I'm not particularly busy. So like, it's just really easy to get there.
Yeah.
For me. So I always have to really check myself like, especially after the holidays. It gets rough around the holidays. But I have noticed that, like, if I get out of my routine for a couple of weeks now, or like in this case with the issue I was talking about before we got on here, I was super busy from right before Christmas to almost February. And I got very few workouts in that, probably 6 weeks. But it is not as hard for me to get right back into it as it used to be. I don't know what, and eventually it'll actually get to where, like, I just tell myself, well, you've got to take the time to do this. You know what I mean? It gets harder, like you were talking about. It gets harder for me at some point to talk myself out of it. It gets to a point where it's just like, no, I need to go do it. You know what I mean? And am I always excited? Maybe not, but like you said, I always feel great afterwards.
Yeah.
And I feel like you get accustomed to getting to that feeling. You're constantly chasing that feeling to some degree.
For sure. Like the runner's high, they say. Working out. It's good for your mind.
Yeah.
Good.
I have a question. Working on the nutrition side, do you feel like taking the time to analyze what you're eating, what like putting into your body has made you a better chef?
No.
No? You don't feel like taking the time has made you cook better?
No, I'm not a good cook. A lot of times, like, if you see my reels on Instagram, they are simple meals. I can use my air fryer to make just about anything. It is way better than if I try to make some gourmet meal in the oven. I keep things super simple. So if I can do it,
I was really hoping you weren't going to bring up the reels, because I follow you on Instagram, and I do this with almost everybody. I just kind of click through them really fast and get to what I want to see.
What a douche. I usually watch every one on Facebook she puts up.
What?
Yep.
Oh, I don't even try with the Facebook reels.
If you don't comment on every one of my reels from now on, cut off.
Yeah,
I'm not a commenter.
Yeah, good done.
The only thing I use commenting for is trolling.
You're a troll?
Oh, yeah. You don't ever pay attention to what I put on people's Facebook?
Oh.
You just go to Dustin's page.
Oh, well, that's fair enough.
But I do it to everybody. You didn't see what I got Josh Wright with the other day?
No.
Whenever the memory came up of they had the white trash reunion thing, and it was like we're all dressed in like 97, and he had on his like wife beater and like cut off shorts, and like his tattoos were showing, and like I think he had put like some growth on himself, and I just commented, I was like, wow, Josh, I'm surprised you can still fit into that exact outfit you used to wear in 1997.
You're a nice troll.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah. I try to be funny.
Yeah.
But try.
Yeah, try, exactly. They don't always land. You know a lot about that.
Dude, I swear like 90% of my stuff lands.
90.
So, so to get back in it, I was trying to think where I wanted to go, because I'm really interested about, like Kiefer was asking, the nutrition side. But, so you were talking about kind of how you cook. My problem is, like, I really have, for a long time, always really been into cooking in general.
Yeah.
So I like to cook everything. What I suck the worst at is sides. So it almost always goes to a potato. A lot of times we go to pasta. Just trying to think. Those are types of things you should cut out or cut down, or?
Not necessarily. I mean, it just depends what your macros are, but I still have pasta. It's just swapping it out for a more like macro-friendly one. So Bonza pasta, it's super good. It's chickpea pasta. Yeah. I still eat that. My kids will eat it. If I can feed something to my kids, I know I can tell other people to get it, because they are the true taste test.
Can you feed one to my kid?
Sure. Oh, come on over.
He eats nothing.
Yeah, he's kind of picky.
He actually eats, so they were looking at his CT a little bit, like I was telling you about. He eats meat primarily. He's already got like fatty tissue on his liver from how much meat he eats.
Really?
They were saying, yeah, at 8. So it's like, oh boy, we're gonna have to force him to eat other stuff. Because, like, in general, you feel like it's like, well, I mean, a lot of kids don't really care for pork chops and steak and stuff for a long time, but that's what he really likes. So we just kind of felt like, I mean, you hear about people primarily doing just, like the carnivore diet, but I apparently there are some drawbacks to that I didn't know about.
Yeah, I think just like a well-diverse diet is good for you. Too much of anything obviously is bad, but I mean, as a parent, I'd be like, well, he's eating meat, that's good. I mean, if he's eating something, at least it's protein.
Yeah.
But like getting in some fruits and veggies, which veggies are hard for kids. You got to sneak them in.
Veggies are hard for anybody.
That's true.
And then the other problem is, everything that but I only know this because of Jamie, you know.
What was that?
Well, just, you know, she just, you know, it's like, you probably don't. I wish that some of you that were nurses had to be married to other people in medical profession, because it's just like, there's just all these things that you guys know and you just kind of constantly throw at us, and it's just like, okay, like I know what you're saying, but like a lot of vegetables that, what I've learned from her, a lot of vegetables that you associate with as vegetables are really just like starches.
Yeah.
Like corn, potatoes, and even some beans and stuff like that can be starchy.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get some greens in, that's good. Greens have a lot of fiber.
The hardest part, isn't it? I mean, how often do you find yourself just eating broccoli or
A lot.
Today.
Yeah, I mean, I like broccoli, but I also like it cooked. I'm not big on raw.
That's okay.
Doesn't matter.
So I cook carrots all the time.
Oh, I love good
Yeah.
carrots, yeah.
Yeah.
My thing is
That's
I don't
very
get
easy,
enough
better,
fruit.
Really?
Yeah.
Fruit's pretty easy for me. I find that if you like wash your fruit and have it ready to go and set it out, like if you get home from work, throw it out on your table, and you are way more likely to like eat that than them.
Yeah, I normally just try to do smoothies.
Smoothies are good.
Because that's like the only way I'll get fruits in, because they're frozen or fruits, so they don't go bad.
Yeah.
But like it's been there for like all winter. I was having a smoothie every day, but now I just kind of stopped.
Is there, so when it comes to the smoothies, is there, should you mostly be making those out of just like organic contents, more or less, like, or is there
Like protein powder?
whey protein powders
Yeah,
or
so-
that you suggest?
I think, don't overcomplicate it. Like, you don't have to go organic. You don't have to go super crazy. Just keep it simple and what works for you and your lifestyle and what you're going to maintain to be able to make it a lifestyle. So, First Form, Lexi is a First Form athlete. So we use a lot of their products, really great high quality products. And Level 1 is a really good protein powder that you can throw in smoothies. You can bake with it. You can do just about anything with it. So that would be good to throw in a smoothie. And I mean, throw your fruits in there. If you're not good at fruits, throw spinach in there. You can disguise that in there. Super good. And then like Fairlife milk is awesome. It has a lot of protein in it. You can throw in there.
Yeah. Yes, we used to have to get Fairlife for both our kids.
Yeah.
For like the first couple of years. Well, Robbie wasn't as bad, but Simon definitely. So like I used to use like expensive, but like I used to use like the Team Beachbody stuff for a while. It was all right. I mean, I liked it. There were meal replacement shakes. I don't know. Do you do that as meal replacements, or do you just do it with everything else that you would normally be eating?
So you don't have to do supplements at all. Like if you don't want to do them, you don't have to do them. You can eat whole foods, which is awesome. But yeah, the Level 1 is technically a meal replacement shake, so you can utilize it as that. It's just going to keep you fuller longer. They also have one like a post-workout shake, which honestly is my favorite supplement they have. It's got 20 grams of protein, but it's also going to help repair your muscles. So when you're working out, you're actually breaking down your muscles. And so this is going to come in and help repair them. It's a rapid digesting protein, so it's going to get there quick and fast and help repair your muscles, and honestly it tastes delicious. So I'll never go without that one.
And then I don't necessarily need an exact price, but fairly affordable, I'm guessing.
It's a little on the pricier side,
Okay.
but it is a little pricier because it is a good quality protein. So it's low temperature processed. So if you think about like a chicken breast and you cook it in the oven at 600 degrees, it's going to be chewy, gross, not good. If you throw it in a crock pot and you process it at a low temperature, it's going to keep a lot of its nutrients. It's going to be moist. And that's exactly how protein powder is processed. If it's quick and fast to get it out the door, to get it on the shelves quick, it's not as good quality, whereas First Form's quality is good.
Really
It's
good.
great, yeah.
Because of the process. That's interesting to know.
Yeah.
I find, well, it's been a little bit different over the years. So like when I really started getting back into it, I was basically using those shakes as lunch. And that would work for maybe 2 days, and then by lunch, like on the third day, I would be starved.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like I kind of quit doing that. I've never been a breakfast eater much at all, so that's not a problem. And I prefer to work out. Like when I was telling you, I take my lunch break early to go do a workout. Like another reason is usually that's a dead space, but it's also like I haven't eaten yet, and I'm going to want to eat afterwards.
Yeah.
But I also find since I quit doing the shakes, it's kind of expensive. I could stay on them for a while, and then I kind of get tired of them, and then some of it would go to waste and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
But what I do find now, cutting a bunch of different supplements in general out, is like when I work out regularly, 2, 3, 4 times a week, whatever I can get in, I find that I get hungry, but it does not take near as much to fill me up. Do you experience that, or?
I think maybe just like the quality of foods you eat, because when I'm like,
and I eat like crap, just full disclaimer most of the time.
when I'm lazier, I feel like I eat like crap, you know. I do, I gravitate towards that, but when I'm like working out and I'm feeling good, I gravitate towards those foods that make me feel good. I feel like.
See, that is one hump that I haven't gotten over. I haven't really changed my diet. Now, getting older could be part of that too, but like I don't have quite the appetite I used to. I mean, and I'm getting to the point where, quite frankly, sometimes food's a bit of an inconvenience because I would like to just keep doing stuff, but I get hungry and it's like, oh, I'm going to figure out food for me, Jamie, the kids. There are definitely days that I sit down and think about food and be like, you know, that whole pill thing doesn't seem like the worst idea in the world if somebody could come up with that. So I could just move on and maybe cook on the weekend only, you know what I mean? But
I have no idea what you mean.
No kidding?
I am always hungry. I can eat at any point, anytime. If I go too long without eating, you don't want to be around me. I am hangry, so I cannot relate to that feeling.
Isn't
We'll check
hangriness
back in when
just
you're 34.
propaganda put on by big food corporations?
I don't know, but they got me hooked. 'Cause
You mean Snickers?
Yeah.
Big candy bar?
Yeah.
Yeah. For somebody that wants to get into Lexi J, how do you go about that if you want to join?
So there's 2 different sides to it. There's the workout side, and then there's the nutrition side. So for the workout side, both of these, you can get onto our website, lexijwellness.com, and there's a drop down for the workouts. You can sign up there. If you are a woman, you can join the private Facebook group, which I highly suggest doing because there's a lot of people to help hold you accountable and motivate you and all the things. And so you can sign up there. And then the nutrition side, there's also a drop down for that. And then it instructs you how to get the First Form app and how to sign up and get a Lexi J Wellness advisor.
Okay. Gotcha. What would you say to somebody that has been thinking about getting in shape, making life changes, but can't seem to get the first step down?
Just jump in. I mean, what do you have to lose? I mean, it's just one day. Try it out. Take it one day at a time and find somebody to do it with you. Like having somebody to hold you accountable, or reach out to me. I'd love to be there to hold you accountable too. And just take it one day at a time. 28 minutes is only 2% of your day. So 2% of your day you can show up for you and put your own oxygen mask on first and you'll feel a ton better.
Show up for you. I like that.
Do you have any recommendation? Because I know there's different levels. Do you have recommendation to start it in increments, or do you think it's better just to hop in and really try to go for the full program, so to speak?
When I first started out, I started with the workouts. I got consistent with those, and then I jumped into the nutrition portion of it. And I think that's a really great way to just form one habit, get that normal. That's your normal routine. It's not if you're going to work out, it's when you're going to work out, and then jump into the nutrition side of things. Because a lot of times you'll see, like on my Instagram or Lexi's Instagram or anybody that works for Lexi J Wellness sharing about their macros and what it looks like. So you can kind of get an idea there and get your feet wet a little bit and then jump into the app. But it's nice having a real person helping you navigate the nutrition portion of things. Because, I don't know, like we learned kind of that in school, but we didn't really learn it. Like we never
Well, and then you probably didn't go out and use it, which is, that's the big thing. You kind of just wrap your hands on it and then start using it as opposed to, okay, I learned a bunch of information and then maybe I'll never.
Then I went and got a Big Mac. That's what I did in high school.
Yeah. You might think, this is really against what I just learned, but oh well. I was trying to think if I had any other questions around nutrition. You go ahead.
What are the events? You said there was something in Nashville, an event in Nashville. What are those?
Okay, so we have like Lexi Joe Wellness live events. So they're just workouts that we do together. We get together. We've had a couple this year. One in Nashville, that was our first out-of-state event and went really well. It was awesome, a really good time. And then like we've had one recently in Smithville at White Iron Ridge. It's a wedding venue. It was really pretty. It was a Galentine's workout. It was so much fun. You guys would have loved it.
I was pretty jealous. I looked at some of that and thought, why not me?
I hate not being invited to things. I have the worst FOMO.
You got invited. I'm going to send you a Facebook invite next time.
No, I need a letter in the mail, handwritten.
I'll do it.
No, go on. No.
I'll hand deliver it. But there's just live events where we can all get together and chat, which is really nice. Like a lot of these people, like on the internet, they talk all the time and chat back and forth on the group, and then they get together and actually meet each other, which is awesome. And then like in May, we'll have our 4-year anniversary event, which is super fun. And we'll go to First Form headquarters, which is an awesome, beautiful place, a beautiful gym. It's immaculate. And it'll be like a whole weekend. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we all get to hang out, which is really fun.
Nice.
Is that the one you're trying to get folks to sign up for currently? I was going to ask you about that. Or maybe you have an event going now that you were just working on.
Oh, the Spring Challenge. The Spring Challenge started this week. And that is just like nutrition, workout. You can do one or the other. You can do both. And then there's a dream team weekend winning at the end. There's like prizes, like $2,700 of prizes for each one that you can win, just being consistent for yourself. And it's not like a Biggest Loser challenge, like who loses the most weight. It is just like who shows up for themselves consistently gets you eligible for those prizes, which is cool. But no, it is not that one. The anniversary event has a cap number on it. There can be 250 guests just because of the space that we have. So the tickets are already sold out. Yeah.
No kidding, but that's awesome, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the goal, is to get 250 people. It's pretty good.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Are the workouts more of like the HIIT type of workouts?
So the workouts are dumbbell only and resistance band workouts. Monday is your HIIT day, and then each day has its group. So Tuesdays, arms and back. Wednesdays, Juicy Booty Club. Thursday is shoulders and core. Friday is full body, and then Saturday is 12 and abs. So
and so I did have a question here. What is your thoughts on rest, and when does that take place, and at what increments?
I'm not a very good rest person, but I do think rest is important so your body can relax, settle down. I think I use Sundays as an active recovery day, so I get my steps in, but I don't lift weights. I try to stretch. I'm not the best at that. That's something that I can definitely improve on, is stretching and mobility. But I think rest is good, and adding those days in, especially when your body's kind of yelling at you like, hey, you need to slow down a little bit, adding in a little bit more rest, or like lightening up your weight for a week and then going back hard makes you feel better.
Yeah, the only reason I ask is, like, my dad was always just kind of into working out. Couldn't put any type of real, like, I guess, like, is he good at working out? I mean, but he always had weights. He always walked. Obviously, he still walks all the time.
Yeah,
sometimes
I see him all
3
the time.
times a day. Yeah. But he has always done a little bit of free weights, just whatever he could do around the house. And he would always tell me, and bicycling. He loves bicycling. He doesn't do it as much anymore, obviously. They try, but not. I mean, it used to be pretty much every day of the summer. We would ride maybe 30 miles, something like that.
A day.
At one time, yeah.
I see Regina out.
But if you think about that, so, and he was always going, he goes up to the Wabash Trace. So you're talking about 15 miles one way and then 15 miles back. And that sounds like a lot, but it's not as bad as you might think. But he always told me, he goes, rest is unbelievably important. And for a long time, I kind of believed him, kind of didn't. But of course, when you're young, you kind of feel like you can just do whatever. I mean, at one time I could smoke cigarettes, be out all night drinking, but I could still get up and go work out. And there's no possible way that I could do that anymore. But what does happen is, like, if I miss a few days, or like this week's looking a little bit rough, when I get back on, and I'm really, really, for some reason, Mondays, I almost always work out. Almost always. I can always be like, okay, Monday I need to work out after the weekend and fit it in, which Monday sometimes is a pretty busy day, but which goes back to, obviously, if I can fit it in on Monday, I can probably fit it in any other day, but I will feel fantastic if I have like 3 to 4 days off randomly because I didn't get in there, and like it makes my workout sometimes almost feel like I could go double as long after the rest.
What are you doing as a workout? Because like the rest thing kind of goes back to like you're working arms one day, you're doing juicy booty Wednesday, you're mixing.
See, that's my problem. My workout isn't quite as diverse as what you had just described. So primarily where I started, whenever I started, was I told myself I was going to be doing cardio for 30 minutes, no less than 300 calories, and the target was to do that in about 3-ish miles. That's usually what I do, and I adjust my speeds and I adjust my inclines and all that stuff to like speed up, slow down, run uphill, run. Anymore, I can't actually be below 1.5% grade because I feel like I'm running downhill, and it's really weird. And throughout that time period, it changes. Primarily, what I do is a warm up lap at like 4 miles an hour at 4% incline, and then I'll run a mile at 6 miles an hour at usually 1.5 or 2%, depending on how good I'm feeling. And then I will run another mile that is 5 miles an hour at anywhere from 3.5 to 5% incline for 200 yards, and then I'll decrease my incline and then run at 7 miles an hour for another 200, and I alternate that until I'm done. So basically just changing, trying to emulate more like running outside, pretty much, because some people just get on the treadmill and run at 0% grade at one speed all the time, and I used to do that a lot.
Me.
Is that what you do? Yeah. So I change. I try to, throughout the workout, kind of do different levels of speeds. But like I said, my rule is what I said. It was basically 30, 3, and 300. And now I can burn 450 calories in about 26 minutes. And I am always on the treadmill for usually comes out by the time I've done warm up and cool down, but it usually comes out to about 35 minutes.
Do you have an opinion or a preference to like running in a gym or like running outside? Because I've seen you on campus because you do it right in the middle of the freaking road when I'm trying to go to places.
That would be me.
Yeah, you got your headphones on, I'll lay on the horn.
I don't have headphones, I'm just not listening.
But do you have a preference on?
I think like getting outside just is good for your mental health. Sunshine, obviously, it's going to increase those endorphins. And so I like to go outside when I can, but when it's bad weather, I mean, going to the gym and utilizing a treadmill is great, but I just like going outside for the mental aspect of it. It's going to boost your endorphins. And like I said, I don't use headphones when I'm out and about just because I like to, it de-stresses me, like listening to the birds. If you go out and walk in the morning with the sunrise, best thing ever. And your mind is kept sharp while you're outside because there's obstacles. You're going up, you're going down, there's bumps. There may be dead squirrels in the road. Tarkio has a lot of dead squirrels in the road for some reason. It's like sometimes there's massacres everywhere. Yeah, I just prefer outside. I mean, but a treadmill's fine. Do you lift weights at all?
Yeah. Primarily upper body. I have...
Explains the pants situation.
Yeah, so I have recently...
Oh, hang on.
What happened?
I don't know.
God damn it. Okay, so I
That's weird.
have always done, and some of this is stuff that, like, not near in as depth as what they had me doing, like whenever I took the workout program for Central Methodist when I thought I was going to go play football there, but some of those types of things that I was doing back then is what I keep trying to do. And what I usually try to do is definitely upper body, probably 2 times a week, and I've been working back in lower body recently. But I will do what I would say is probably medium weight and relatively high reps is usually what I try to do. And I usually try to kind of emulate lifting to failure, but I'm by myself, so I don't actually want to go to failure because I want to get stuck.
But do you use dumbbells or do you use
dumbbells? So bench press.
bars?
Yep.
Okay.
Bench press, dumbbells. It's mostly, I try to get every group. So I try to get chest, I try to get biceps, I try to get triceps, and then shoulders, pretty much. And then I've got a really bad back problem. Like I'm sure most of you can tell from my posture, it's pretty terrible all the time. Just because the way my spine's
I point it out to people all the time.
I know you do. I always hear you snickering. But the biggest reason, so I have degenerative disc problems. I've had lower back pain since I was 12 or 13. And I can, it hurts all the time. I can make it hurt worse, and at times I don't notice that it's pretty dull. But I can flex in ways to actually make it bother me. But the reason for that is it took years of going to different specialists to figure out kind of what the problem was, because it would never get better. I'd have all these incidents where I couldn't walk for 3 or 4 days. And what happened is I have an annular tear in L6, L7, I can't remember anymore. And finally there was a specialist, a neuro guy that was like, he goes, you have degenerative discs. And there was another specialist I went to that said the same thing. He said, but it's bizarre for your age, and it's bizarre that you've had this issue since you were as young as you were. He said, but most of your pain's not coming from that, other than the fact that your posture's so bad. But he said, but that's all because of the torn disc. And he said, so your body's just trying to move in different ways to keep from aggravating that, and that's why your posture is bad. It got to, I was working out a lot at my senior year, and then after my senior year, to try to go play football whenever they told me not a good idea after an MRI. I kind of quit doing a lot of lower body workouts just because it really does aggravate it, and it was pretty much always lower body workouts that would aggravate it for me, obviously. So that's where I went, and then after I started working out again, shortly after COVID and stuff, started really getting back into the gym. I was doing a bunch of abs, because I've always had a bunch of physical therapy stuff to try to help this.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of stretches, which I still do the stretches. I love stretching. It does make me feel better. And if I haven't stretched in a week, that's the first thing that I really started noticing. But whenever I would, a little embarrassing, I would do my ab workouts, and I would do I was trying to get back into squatting and stuff. I had a problem where my testicle hurt so bad for a week. Well, not quite.
Really?
Yeah, not quite. But so Doc readjusted me and felt everything up, and then started pushing stuff back where it goes on the side that was bothering me.
Yeah.
And I remember he obviously pulled my pants down. And he was just like, okay, I'm going to push around up in there. Because he was pushing up here, and he's like, nothing. I'm like, no, that's not bothering me. And he's like, okay, well, pull him down. And he goes, how does this feel? And he, goes up your sack and back up into kind of your lining up in there. And I was like, does that feel good at any time? He's like, no, but now how about on this side? And I was like, oh yeah, the other side was not that bad. And then so he pushed everything around, and then he pulled his fingers kind of back out of there, and he's like, how do you feel now? I was like, way better. He goes, yeah, you're going to herniate eventually. He goes, and he told me, and I got really bummed, because he asked me the same thing, what was I doing on my workouts, and I told him all that stuff, and he goes, I would stick to cardio, and he goes, I would not be doing a lot of bench press, I would not be doing a lot of dumbbells, I would not be doing a lot of squats, I would not be doing a lot of that stuff, because it's a matter of time. And he goes, you could walk out tomorrow, be lifting something and have it. It may make it 10 years. I don't know.
Yeah.
He said, but I can't do anything until it happens either. So I got really bummed out and didn't work out for a little while after that, just because I was bummed. But then I just cut out most of the ab stuff, and I've been fine for the most part. So.
If you ever need a second opinion, you just let me know, bud.
No. No,
Gotta
thank
pause
you.
the show for a minute.
Oh no, we don't mind. We don't hide anything on this show.
Alright, censor.
So Lexi J is pretty goal driven.
Yeah.
How have your goals changed the past 4 years? And what's like your current goal now?
So,
Oh.
if you want to know my goals, I haven't been very good at writing my goals down this year. They're kind of just all up in my noggin. But
And you can be
I-
vague if you need to.
I have started reading self-help books, which if you would have told me that 10 years ago, I would have been like, there's no way. Michan would never read a self-help book. But I do now, and they are so beneficial just to keep you motivated and keep you on task and see things differently, I guess. And so I read 10 pages of self-help book every day. That's a goal of mine. I want to make sure I hit my steps, make sure I get my workout in, like short-term goals like that, hit my macros. But long-term, last year, my goal was to run a half marathon, and I was able to do that. It was tough, but I did it.
Yeah.
So I did that last year. This year, I'm thinking maybe I want to do like a sprint triathlon. I think that would be fun. But
That just sounds awful.
yeah, well, like swimming's fun, and I think it's like a 5K, so I can run a 5K, but there's biking, and I
Yeah.
just don't like to bike, so.
Fair.
Well, and biking actually might be one of my favorite workouts.
A lot of people love it, but I just,
It's kind of a lot of work to get it done, I feel like. That was, so like, it never bothered Dad to have like all the racks and
Yeah.
you take your tire off and put it on there and drive up there. I have a truck now, so I can just throw my whole bike in there. I need to get back into it. But one thing I will say about biking is you really want to make sure you have the right equipment.
yeah.
Because the idea on the bike is, like, I'm going into something, like, are you familiar with, like, clipless pedals?
No, I have
all
no
that
idea about bikes.
Okay, so, like, you want, they're called clipless, even though they are a clip where you clip to the pedal, but it's because of the way they changed the technology at some point in time, like in the late 80s or early 90s. I would have to ask Dad all that again, but they do clip to the bike. And getting your bike geared, you should never, like, most people ride bikes and they're like, well, it's only good for me, like, whenever I have the resistance. But, like, the whole purpose of having a bike with gears is so that you get the same amount of resistance whether you're going uphill or downhill. You know what I mean? So you have to, but it's an extremely good workout. And I don't know what it is about riding bikes, but I've never thought, boo, I don't want to do that, you know what I mean? Because you're riding through the country. Like I said, particularly if you go up to the trail, I really highly, highly recommend bike trails. It makes it much different than like ass clenching terror on the side of the highway or whatever you
Yeah.
see people do. So
We did Ragbri last year.
no, you didn't.
Yeah, we did.
The whole thing.
No, we played. The band played Ragbri.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
I have never seen more people in tight latex suits.
You like it?
There's some cool ones. I was
Yeah.
jealous I didn't have one.
I don't want to piss all the Ragbri people off.
It's
Okay.
annoying. I hated
What
it.
is Ragbri?
That's the Iowa bike thing where they go.
Right from one side of the circle to the
Oh,
other.
okay. Yeah, that's cool.
But one thing I will say about Ragbri
Ragbri?
is so I'm trying to remember, there's so many miles per day you have to ride, but you ride at your own pace, and then they just tell you where camp is. So there's a lot of partying that takes place during Ragbri.
Oh,
I mean,
sure.
you got a handful of people that I think take it really serious for fitness, but you've got a lot of people that just go do it just to.
Dude, I think there's a lot more people that take it seriously than
Do you
actually
think so? Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy how like intense some of those people are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, they'd stop and just like grab a banana and you just hear them like between songs, let's go, we gotta keep up. I'm like, there's like a billion of you guys.
Yeah. It's a pretty bizarre event, I guess. It's a mix of people that really like to bike, but there's a lot of people that really,
Just doing it for the
just
fun
doing
of
it
it.
for the fun of it, basically. Which, and not that I think that there's anything wrong with Ragbri, but it's not all necessarily fitness geared for everybody involved. Like I don't know if you, occasionally it'll come through like Shenandoah, and I've been up there, and like you can go through there like after the serious people have left, and you can see like around still people dinking around at like, I 9:30, 10:30, 11:30 in the afternoon, like the campgrounds just kind of been tore down, and there's like a handful of tents and people still just passed out. And
Yeah.
like, they're like, okay, you get up at 1 and drive, or really ride my bike for the next 7 hours or whatever, and then I don't know. It's kind of interesting. It's a bit of a do it at your own pace. Just try to be at these points at these times
Yeah.
type. So.
You would have to get a special seat for that, I'm telling you.
Actually, oddly enough, the shorts are what really.
Shorts do it for you.
Yeah, well, no, that's what protects the chafing and keeps everything soft and not quite so hard that you're sitting on. Yeah, but you got to wear those little spandexy shorts that have pads in the crotch.
Honestly, it's true.
Yeah, and then the little tight hats that keep sweat out of your eyes.
I like the guys with the helmets with the little mirrors.
Mm-hmm.
Those are so dorky.
I need to get into biking, I guess. I don't know anything about it.
Biking, yeah, talk to Rob. He'll tell you.
That's probably true.
Yep. He's got all the stuff. He's the one that taught me some of it. Some of it was like, Dad, I'm just trying to hang out with you too,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Have you ever done any events like in the county? Or are they mostly like Kansas City?
St. Louis, I know for sure.
I don't think we've done any in the county. We had talks about doing some a little bit closer, but I don't think we've done any in this area.
Because it's crazy. We got plenty of field right outside here on campus that.
Or the TAC. I mean,
Oh, well,
I would
we
think.
definitely could. Definitely
Yeah.
could. We've done St. Joe a couple
Yeah.
times. We've been in St. Joe. I don't know if we've done any in Tokyo, though.
No. I've noticed a lot of people go from up here though.
Yeah.
Is there quite a few people in the county that participate?
Yeah, there's quite a few people. Yeah, there's a lot of people in the county, and then like over the Iowa border, there's quite a few girls over there, and then
You let those people in?
yeah, we let them in too. They're very nice.
For people that are interested in joining, is there like a startup cost, a subscription?
Yes. So the workout subscription is $28 a month, and then for the nutrition, it's a little confusing right now, but the First Form app is $12.99, and then to work with the LJW team, it's an additional $20.
Okay. And I'm sure you recommend working with with you guys because you get the personalized.
Yes, yeah, it's really nice to have that personalized feedback. When you get the First Form app, the app will set macros for you. So it kind of gives you a general idea of what you need, but then we can help you adjust those to where you need to be so that you feel good, you have good energy, you have energy for your workouts, and you're not starving.
And I'm sure the macros, like it sets it up based on like your goals, right?
Yeah, your goals, and then your weight, your height, gender,
What's like, what do you guys recommend for how much you should lose a month?
A month, I always say, like, if you're in a weight loss goal, if you're losing a pound a week, that's perfect. That's sustainable. And that's what we like to see. But honestly, like, weight, we talked about, you're not big on weight, and I'm not huge on the scale either. If your body composition is changing, and we take pictures every week, and that will show your body composition changing. And that's huge just to see it. Like, there's pictures from ladies that I think, oh my gosh, she's lost 10 pounds, and it'll be like 2 pounds. But it's like, her body composition has totally changed.
But if you're working out too, you're not just losing weight, you're building muscle. Does that get frustrating for people?
It can, especially if they're not taking photos. That can definitely be frustrating. And like, doctors are a lot about BMI. I know that like our local doctor isn't too much about BMI, but BMI doesn't take into account like what's in your body.
I was going to ask if you had one of the reader things for events.
Yeah, we make everybody come up. No.
Do you?
No.
I will. For what? You gotta shame them to their goals. Because that's the Lexi way.
No. Stop
She's
it.
never gonna come back.
No, you're good.
So you were talking about the personalized feedback. Is that all like, I guess like you being an advisor, what's your day consist of typically? Is it, and are you doing like live Zoom calls with folks too, or is it all videos back, or is it just kind of all the live chat?
So within the First Form app, there's like First Form announcements where you'll see each of the advisors talking like different tips and tricks of the week. So you have that portion, and then within your account, you'll send in like what you've been eating all week. You'll just log your food and we can see all that.
Mhm.
So you'll send in an assessment and then we will get back to you a video feedback of like things you can do a little bit better or how to hit your protein, because it takes a minute to figure out how to hit that protein goal when you're not used to it.
Mhm.
So it takes a little bit of trial and error, but just like anything new, like you're not going to expect your kid to get on a bike and ride it the first time. It's going to take a little bit of time. Well, maybe. Okay. But anyways, it takes a little time to get there. And so you get that video feedback. We have just added where we're doing one-on-one live Zoom meetings that you can sign up for, which is really nice. It's even more like personalized and you get to know them better as people because they are that, like they have kids that they're not going to get the amount of sleep they need, or they have baseball games and swim meets that they're going to be chasing their kids around. What can we do to have those protein items with you? So honestly, my day is I wake up, I answer messages. They can direct message us at any time, and so that's really nice. So I answer messages from all of them. I do assessments, answer messages again at noon, do more assessments, and then answer messages before I leave for the day. But a lot of times I am on it in the evenings too. We're pretty accessible.
Yeah.
And then like social media aspect of things too, we are on social media talking to them as well, and then posting things for them to be helpful for them.
Yeah, I got you. So kind of, it's just a mixture.
It's a mixture. There's a lot of different components.
Of whatever works for the individual. Basically.
For the individual, yeah.
That's cool. It's funny you mentioned like running around with kids stuff. That fosters the worst eating habits. I feel like it's so hard.
It is so hard.
Especially, like that year that, what was going on? I mean, you guys were doing swim team too, but like we had Simon, he was doing baseball swim team, and then like, it was like 3 or 4 nights a week we had stuff. And it's even harder with many people that we know in the area that have like 2-3 kids, bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you get it accomplished?
Yeah, do you do anything other than drive them around?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Work and then drive them around and then go to sleep for a little bit and then start all over again. And
Yeah.
this time of year is the worst. That's when I feel like that's when it really kicks off. I know for the parents with older kids, it's the whole school year basically. But for us, when they're not in junior high and high school, it's really spring through like July is just
Crazy. Yeah. We're getting into the season.
I was trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to ask you about. Is there anything that you want to put out, like for people to reach out to you to look at signing up, or reach out to Lexi, or just the program in general? I know you've got probably Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah.
I mean,
can you like type it down on this?
We can definitely, if you can give us the links, we can definitely put it in the episode description.
I will give you guys the links for the website and things to sign up, but you can always reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram. I always am on messages there. And if you need like extra accountability, I'm totally here for all that. If you have any extra questions about how it works, just let me know and I can shoot you anything you need to know.
Okay.
But 28-minute workouts, dumbbell only, you can do them anywhere, 2% of your day.
Totally customizable to you.
Yes.
In every way.
Yeah.
Your body, your
workouts are all the same. Everybody has the same workouts, but macros are.
Macros, yeah, but I just, when you can, your schedule,
Yes.
your body,
Your goals.
your goals, your kind of, what am I going to say, like your ability to be committed, involved, all those things.
Yeah, it's totally, like some people are super active in the Facebook group, other people aren't active at all, but they like reading comments on there, and so it's just whatever you want to do. It's whatever capacity you want to do it in, and doing something is better than doing nothing at all. Even like getting outside and walking is huge. Like that's super underrated. So just doing a little bit of something each day, and don't feel like you have to do everything at the same time, because I feel like a lot of times we feel like we have to do all of this at the same time, and then people are like, this is too much. And so if you just take it in bite-sized chews, it's going to be a lot easier to stick to it.
Yeah, awesome. Where are we at on time?
Oh, I don't know. A little over an hour, close to an hour.
Close to an hour. Yeah. I was trying to think if there's anything else I was going to bug you about.
Was this as bad as you thought it was going to be?
No, you
No.
didn't use the word I thought was going to be used. So.
We can talk about it.
We'll wait till we bring you back on.
Oh, perfect. It's going to be a second time.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it. Kiefer, do you have anything else to talk about?
No.
Obviously, we most definitely would like you to come back on at some point. So we'll hit you up.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
Yeah, wasn't that bad.
What? No, I'm just kidding.
You did fine.
I don't like talking in real time.
I can't believe that stopped. I don't know what that was.
Yeah, that's weird.
What if it erased the whole episode?
No, but he's gonna have overlap.
That's why I clapped at the end, so I can Mitch.
He's gonna have to like take it, and it's not that big a deal.
No.
But like we were in like mid conversation, and it dropped off for 2 seconds. We noticed it, so then he started it right back over.